All right, so we got everything marked up on the fretboard. We're now ready to go ahead and start putting the wear on the different frets. This is a kit that you can get from basically any hardware store. It's basically a Dremel cleaning polishing kit, and it has a lot of different tools that really come in handy for whenever you're want to put some wear in different things. We're going to use these small polishing pads right here that come in the kit. They're used for, like polishing metal and different things like that. When you feel them, you think, there's not much to them, but of course they go flying everywhere. You're going to find that if you rub them, you're thinking you're trying to simulate your fingers working over a long period of time, and that's pretty consistent. About 1 second with that would probably be about a year's worth of playing. So we're going to use that to kind of work through the fretboards. I've already put one on right here. I have just a regular Dremel tool, and I have it set to the actual lowest possible setting that it'll go. And the trick is you want to do it as lightly and as slowly as you can, and you want to always keep your tool moving. So if you remember, these are the marks that I made for my fretting. What I'm going to do is you just take and you just lightly go across it back and forth in kind of a small circular motion in the area that you would play the fret. And as you slowly work it across, you can, I don't know if you can see it, but that polishing pad is starting to turn black. That is from the marks that I made. And here in a second it's going to start breaking through that finish, and it'll break through that yellow paint, and we'll have a wear mark. But the whole trick here is to do it as slowly and as lightly as you possibly can. And we're starting to break out a little bit right here, trying to break through. So I want to keep it consistent, move it across, and here we go. There is the first wear mark made with the Dremel. And we will go back through in a little bit and clean that up with a little naphtha to get the black marks off of it, but that's your first wear mark. So let's do a couple more here. And I'm trying to keep them consistent with the lines for the strings that I made, so as I'm working across. And if you look real close at fretboards, they're kind of, the ones that are aged really well and naturally, they're kind of in a little bit of an oval form. And then we'll go back through once we make all of our initial swipes and touch those up to where they can match. And we're starting to break through again. And here we go with the second one. Oh, there's the second one. Okay. I'm going to hit these by the dot. And I'm just going to let that one lightly make a mark, because that's not an area that I play a lot. Not as much as the other ones. Okay, so now I've hit pretty much all the heavy play areas. You notice I tried to make them a lot more linear, because that's, tend with when you fret the string, usually when you bend, or we don't usually hit consistently behind the fret. So what I've done is, made them a lot more linear. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to even a lot of this out. Now, you'll notice they look pretty white right now. When you're actually playing, the guitar and wearing that in, there's actually a lot of hand moves that actually stain that and make it look darker. In fact, I can sit here and just rub it with my hand, and the natural oil and grit from my hand. And then I'm going to show you a few techniques here in a little bit that'll kind of help you rough that up. All right, we're back. We got some good old-fashioned goof off, which basically just lighter fluid, pretty much what it is. I'm just going to take a shop towel here. I'm going to liberally put this goof off on here and just kind of let it get in all the different pieces. All right, let it go flow through the frets here, and then just with our shop towel, just go through. Takes a little bit of elbow grease, but work it hard enough, all our Sharpie is gonna just come right off. I tell you, this stuff really has a strong odor to it. If you really need to do it in a well ventilated area, because it will give you a headache. All right, I think for the most part we got everything off, and so that's cleaned off. I think I saw a couple of marks back here. Yep, we'll go ahead and get those off there. All right, next thing we're going to do is we are going to do some sanding with like a 1500, 2000 grit sandpaper on this, just to kind of get some aging on here. But we're going to do two things first. I'm going to show you a quick technique for doing checking on the fret dots. For nitrocellulose finishes crack over time. And that's kind of the vintage look that everybody wants to do. We can't really do that with these poly finishes because they just flat won't crack, because the new poly is just built like a tank. But we can kind of simulate it, and that's what we're going to do right now. Is I'll stop the tape, and then in the next section show you how to do checking on the fret dots.